Welcome back to another episode of the Elevate Collection mini series that we're calling Plug Talk these days. Alex and I are so excited to discuss a topic that is near and dear to our hearts, which are all around spiritual signs, manifestations, and just being guided by what we call our spirit guides. So, welcome to a little mini spiritual episode of the Elevate Collection podcast.
What could we call, like, a mini plug talk that's all, like, spiritual and woo-woo? Like, is this more like I don't know, like, what kinda talk? Like,
I still think it's plug talk because at the end of the day, like, our guide is the plug,
my
and
god, he's the source.
it's allowing us to do what we're allowed to do.
So this plug talk is sponsored by God. So, I mean, our whole lives, but still. Um, so Jordan and I have this really cool moment that we wanted to share with y'all that we had, um, back in January of 2024. And we were sitting at a huge, like, women's conference that was, like, for geared towards, like, BIPOC women and all these different things. It's Rachel Rodgers, her We Should All Be Millionaires. It was the ROI Summit, and it was awesome. And for, I think, reasons that aren't conventionally associated with why you attend these conferences. And I think one of the biggest moments for us, and it has been the spark of so many things that we've done since then, and it's been this beautiful moment and reminder that we're on the right path, is that we're sitting, and I think was it like a grounding exercise that they were doing, like a breathing and grounding? I think at
Yeah, we were
one
doing
point, yeah, breath work that's kicked off the whole conference. And in this moment, a single piece of confetti, like, drifts from the ceiling in this spotlight, and I swear to you, nobody else saw it but us, because nobody else was looking up. Everyone was very just, like, grounded and, like, looking down, and it is a I don't even know. I feel like that was, like, the catalyst for some different just, like, alignment reminders.
well, I think it's important to note that at this specific point in time, we knew that we were gonna be in partnership together outside of real estate, but we didn't know what that was. Like, we were talking about, like, a stationery company, and we talked about an ADHD and
The whole
neurodivergent company.
neurodivergent, yeah.
We literally just went through, like, a myriad of, like, ideas and topics, and that's kinda how our parent company, Something Sparked, was born because we saw this piece of confetti, and it sparked a movement in us and, like, sparked conversation and sparked enlightenment, and I think it this one piece of confetti was the catalyst for Something Sparked and the Elevate collection.
Oh, but I in truth, we've had the collection before then, but I think it's when we decided to really refine what the collection was. Because the collection started when the relocation started of yourself, is when it really just, like, expanded, like, "Alright, that was our thing," where God had pulled us in a direction that we weren't planning to go and that you weren't planning to go. Remember, you said to God, "Anywhere but Atlanta." You said, "Anywhere but Atlanta," and then Atlanta is exactly where God placed you. And then that's when we expanded without plans to expand. Like, we were content in Denver for a while. Like, we're like, "This is what we're doing. Like, we're cool. Like, yeah, we're serving this space. We're doing these things." We set some really big, audacious goals for ourselves within the sports and entertainment space then, but those goals don't look like what they are now and, like, what we've grown into now, those goals then. I mean, there's pieces of them for sure, but I think that it's just so interesting to be in a place where you end up exactly where you're supposed to be, which then you can then turn around and be like, "The path is perfect," because we weren't planning for expansion as quickly as we expanded.
No, and I think when we originally named ourselves the Elevate Collection, the idea was that we were gonna be like a franchise model in real estate
Mhm.
versus like a collection of businesses that support sports and entertainment.
Yeah, o of course, but I think it just continues to evolve in ways that we don't necessarily plan for sometimes. That's what I say in that is that's that whole looking back hindsight's 2020 of the path being perfect because the evolution has been organic and not always in a place that is perfect in a literal sense of like, all right, here's my 5-year plan, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not in that way, but in a way that it has evolved exactly how it should evolve, but which has also allowed us to refine our approach to like manifestation and affirmation. I think that is something that we've also learned over the years is being incredibly specific when you were writing down your affirmations and writing down the things that you're hoping to manifest or the things that you put on your vision board and having some true intention behind them. Like it's what happened? Like, even, like, our year of Hello 7, and the way 7 ended up manifesting in our life was not how we expected Hello 7 to manifest in our life, but it
Yeah,
manifested.
it did manifest and it did come true. I think my favorite, and this is like a complete little tangent here, but my favorite manifestation story is when I went on my friend's bachelorette party and we kept manifesting a moose, but we ended up meeting the local hockey team whose mascot was a moose. And
See?
so we have a picture from this hockey game of us with the moose mascot, and we were like there cheering on the moose, but we were actually trying to manifest like an actual animal moose in the wild to see. So just another example to be very clear with what you're trying to manifest.
You have to. You set that intention, and then you also have to be clear as freaking day, and not and one of my favorite Jordan sayings is, "Clear as mud." So, we don't wanna be clear as mud. We wanna be very, very crystal clear.
I want to get back to this confetti piece for just a second, though, because the most special thing about the confetti is it wasn't a one time experience for us.
Yeah.
We have now experienced a single piece of confetti, I think 3 or 4 times
Mhm.
since that moment in January 2024, including last night at the Dream game. So we're sitting at the Atlanta Dream game, and there are, the Dream Supremes, are
Y'all,
on
they
the
were so cute. Oh my god. It's like a whole what is it? The average age was like 72 and a combination of 30 grandkids between them, but it was a dance team. But go ahead. Atlanta Dream Supremes.
performing to Kendrick Lamar, and we are watching, we're just enjoying the show, and there is a single piece of confetti that just falls through the air, and Alex and I look at each other and we're like, "Again?" And
It's
I
insane.
truly believe, like, in this moment and in those moments that we're exactly where we're supposed to be, and it's the source, God, the universe, like, our spirit guide, like, telling us, like, "Hey, you see this, like, this is your sign that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and the path is perfect," and it all just comes full circle.
And also, like, those that are listening to this little plug talk here, outside of yourself, I wanna also point out those that are in, like, partnerships, right? Partnerships in business, partnerships in relationships, whatever it may be. We find that some of these moments happen, even outside the confetti, but other little moments that remind us that we're on the right path. Some of these moments are happening right upon the precipice of greatness, but before the precipice of greatness that comes to us, we often find that there's a lot of opposition. And there could be whether it be tension, whether it be these growing pains that are happening. My challenge and my charge, I think, to anyone listening to this under the sounds of our voices are that keep fucking going, because sometimes you just have to be reminded that you're on the right path, but if you don't keep going, you may not get to that checkpoint that reminds you. So I often wonder that if we hadn't kept going, let's say if for instance, let's say if Jordan and I, as we continue to grow this business, like we have moments that are really freaking hard where we have to press through. And then last night, for instance, like granted, amongst other things that have happened, we've had some opposition and just growing pains that we encounter and that we endure. That if we had not gotten to the point where we were going to attend that game that night, using that, let's say that that night was a checkpoint for us, we would have never seen that piece of confetti that would have then just confirmed that we were on the right path. So my challenge would be to stay the course and remember your why and stay rooted in that why you're doing it and why you decide to be partners and that understanding that you're truly better together. Then at that point, you can get to that checkpoint and be reminded that you're on the right path because the path is truly perfect. You just got to stay the course.
And the hard days get better, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel safe in saying, like, last week we had one of the hardest days we've experienced in a few years, and we were set to attend an event, and we literally said to each other, like, "Do we even go? Like, it's been a hard day. Do we even go?" And
Yeah.
we ended up going, and that night was arguably like one of the best nights for our business that we've had in a very long time. But it would have been really easy to be like, fuck it, we're not going.
Yeah.
And like taken time to ourselves or separated as partners or, moved totally different. But we decided to come back together and we're like, hey, no, let's get this done. And it moved our needle forward 10x.
100%. And I think that we're in this place too that we are evolving, and we're evolving in front of everyone. And that is a really interesting place to be, and it's a really vulnerable place to be, but it's a really freeing place to be, that we know that the path, while it may be perfect, it does not guarantee that it is easy. There was another episode that, God, I just looked at the clips for season 2 where we talk about, oh, goodness, I think it was in Kelly's episode where we recount back to that one time that we went to church with Jonas, and we were sitting there talking, and like the message was so good, and he was talking about how God doesn't necessarily give you, like, he's not gonna give you the money for the bill, but he can change your mindset around it. And in this moment, I just go back to you recounting that in that episode, Jordan, of with a lot of these things that you experience in business and in this partnership, we may not necessarily change and have those things in our business change immediately or implement as quickly as we want them to. But what has been so beautiful has been the change of mindset. And even us going that night to that event, we're like, this is a hard day. Like, screw it. Of changing the mindset of like, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than the way that I feel in this moment. This is about the why and the what behind what we do, and sticking it through. So our mindset is what shifted for both of us to get there. And like you said, it moved our needle forward tremendously that night in a matter of like 2.5 hours.